Hi, have you ever tried to be nice to someone and it end up ruining everything? Maybe it's you and a friend trying to pick up a place to eat. You say, I'm fine with anything. They say, I'm fine with anything too. And then you both sit there for 20 minutes, getting hungrier, getting more annoyed, and somehow nothing gets decided. Most people think this is just a communication problem, but it is actually something much deeper. In the book, The Art of Strategy, this is called a coordination problem. It's a situation where everyone wants the same thing, but because they can't read each other's mind, they end up failing. Today, I want to show you why this happens and how you can use a secret trick to solve it. Let's look at Jack and Jill. They had a very simple plan. Let's meet in the evening like we usually do. No details, no follow ups, just usual. But here's the thing, in Jack's head, usual meant going to the stadium for the big game. In Jill's head, usual meant grabbing a popcorn at the movie theater. That evening, Jack is at the stadium. It's loud, the lights are bright. He's looking at the door, waiting for Jill. At the same time, Jill is sitting in a quiet theater watching the trailers start, waiting for Jack. Finally, the next game. Jack says, "Where are you?" Jill says, "I'm at the theater. Where are you?" In that moment, they both realized same plan, same time, but a completely different place. Neither of them was wrong, but the results was a total failure. So they decided to be smarter next time. They say, next time we will think about what the other person wants, but this is where it gets messy. A few days later, Jack thinks, last time I went where I wanted. This time I'll be nice and go where Jill would go. But then he stopped. He thinks, wait, what if Jill is also trying to be nice? What if she switches her plan too? If she goes to the stadium and I go to the theater, we will miss each other again. Jill is home doing the exact same math. Now, it's no longer a simple plan, it's a high stress puzzle. They are stuck in an infinite loop of I think that she thinks that I think. Why is this so hard? Because in a coordination game, your success doesn't depend on what you choose, it depends on what you choose together. Think about it like driving a car. In the US, we drive on the right. In the UK, they drive on the left. It doesn't matter which side we pick as long as everyone picks the same side. If you decide to be a rebel and drive on the other side, it doesn't matter how good a driver are you. It's going to end in a crash. Most of the stress in our relationships and our jobs comes from this guessing game. We aren't fighting. We are just not aligned. So, how do we fix the Jack and Jill loop? There is a famous experiment by a man named Thomas Schelling. He asked people, if you had to meet a stranger in New York City tomorrow, but you couldn't talk to them to set a place, where would you go? New York is huge. There are millions of corners and shops. But do you know what most people said? Grand Central Terminal at noon. But why? It's not because the Grand Central is the best place, it's because it's a focal point. A focal point is a choice that is so obvious that it shouts at you. It's the one thing that stands out from all the other options. When you can't talk to someone, you look for the focal point. If Jack and Jill had a focal point, maybe a coffee shop they have gone to 100 times, they wouldn't have to guess. They would just go to the obvious spot. This doesn't just happen on dates. It happens in huge organizations. Years ago, top colleges were competing in sports. Every team wanted to win. So, Team A started practicing 4 hours a day. Team B saw that and said, well, we have to practice 5 hours to beat them. Then Team A went to 6 hours. Soon the students were exhausted. They were not studying, they were getting injured. And here's the crazy part. Since everyone was practicing more, no one actually had an advantage. They were all still winning and losing at the same rate. They were stuck in a coordination trap. They were all working harder but getting the same results. Finally, they realized that they had to coordinate. They sat down and agreed to a new focal point. A strict limit on practice hours. Once they all agreed to the same rules, the pressure vanished. They didn't win by working harder, they won by agreeing to stop. We see focal point in the real world every day, especially in the stock market. Why does a stock price often stop falling when it hits a round number like 100? It's not because 100 is a magic number for the business. It's because thousands of investors who can't talk to each other all uses 100 as a focal point. They all expect that everyone else will buy there, so they buy there too. In business, companies do this with industry standards. We all use the same type of USB cables, not because they are perfect, but because having a standard a focal point makes life easier for everyone. So what can we learn from Jack and Jill? Most of the time, we are stuck. It's not because the other person is being difficult, it's because you haven't found your focal point. If you're trying to plan something and it feels like a puzzle, stop asking, what do you want to do? Start looking for the choice that is the most obvious for both of you. Don't try to be right, try to be aligned. Because at the end of the day, the best outcome isn't about choosing the perfect thing. It's about making sure you're choosing together. If you like this, hit the like button and subscribe. Thanks for watching.